no matter how good things got, no matter how bad things got, you got to keep going. You got to keep prospecting. You got to keep reaching out to people. Your phase one activities can never change. Your phase one is lead generation. It doesn't change.
Welcome back to the Full Out Real Estate Agent. I'm your host, Mark Faris. Today, we're speaking with John Sai. So John is, he's one of the top producers at eXp right across North America. So he does about 300 million in sales volume each and every year. His average sale price is about $1 million, and he services the Vancouver-Fraser Valley area, and he's a team leader for the Align Group. So he has a huge, we'll say, presence in eXp. He has a lot of agents that are within the brokerage that are within his organization, like well over 1,500, which is phenomenal. You don't meet somebody like this every day that's had such influence in the real estate market. And so he has a lot of skill. I asked him one of the things that really makes him stand out compared to others out there. And he said, just the ability to stick with things. So persistence. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And we're going to talk about some of the things that John did to become successful. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Mark. Checked out your YouTube, very professionally done. And I was looking forward to being on this and, to create content with you that's helpful to the real estate agents that are, struggling out there in this marketplace.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that, John. And, for yourself to be able to get into the business and then grow a team and then grow overall influence and then continue to be able to give back. That's the idea. And so today's conversation, I really want to get a little bit about your backstory. What was it that got you into real estate? And then we're going to dive into some of the things that you did to become super successful. Maybe your backstory, will start there.
Yeah, backstory is I was in Taiwan, and it was 2002. I was in my last year at UBC, University of British Columbia. You're from Ontario, right? So
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I was just having vacation in Taiwan, and I ran into this guy at the gym, and he was working out Tuesday at noon, and a Caucasian gentleman. And I'm like, gosh, doesn't this guy have to work? I mean, I'm on summer vacation. So I went up to him and I said, his name was Will. I said, Will, what do you do? Because we've been chatting the whole summer. He's like, you know what? I'm retired. I said, what? How old are you? He said, 42 years old. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. So what did you do? He said, well, I built a language school here and built it up, sold it. And I went and put the money that from the sale to put into real estate. Now I just collect rent. And I'm out of the rat race. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. So you're retired. You're at 42. And I said, well, what would you have me do? I'm 22 years old. I want to become successful just like you. I want to retire by 42. He said, go read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was the first book I've ever read in my life, cover to cover, including textbooks. For sure, I didn't read a textbook in its entirety. So it still took me about 4 years, trying to find myself, trying to, traveling here and there, partying as a young 20-something-year-old. Finally got started in 2006. And, from there on, it was a struggle. It really was a struggle. I did 2 sales my first half year, and I made $2,500. And soon enough, I was $80,000 in debt. And, I'll leave it at that. That was like the first juncture where, that's how I got started.
John, thanks for sharing that. So interesting. That book I read when I was 17, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that was the seed planted in me to wanting to become a real estate investor, which led me into becoming a real estate agent. So that same book made such an impact with me. And I think 75% of real estate investors have read that book and reference it. But the point is taking action on the principles was something that it was like, I don't know if it was like this for you, but it was like the seed was planted and it had to be done. It was like, okay, I'm lit up on it. Is that how it was when you read it?
Oh, yes. That was basically the first book I've ever understood. Right. And I didn't really understand 100% of it. like the quadrants and whatnot. Obviously, I went to the subsequent books after that. But the only thing that I figured out was buy real estate, create residual income, and you can be free.
So, John, the question I have is, you started and it was a tough start. And I recall back, like for me, the first 6 months we maxed out our credit cards as well. And it was like it was early struggle. What did you do to get through that early struggle phase to be able to start to get some momentum?
Yeah, so I'll just start from that 2006, two sales, and I'm like, okay, like what am I doing, right? And I went into it full time. I didn't even know you could do it part time and keep a job, right? I was selling jeans on Robson Street here, and I said, I need to quit. I hated that job anyways. I sold jeans for 4 years, for crying out loud. I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. So I started selling real estate right away, but I didn't know what I was doing. And then 2007, however, because the market was still pretty good. I don't know about Ontario, but BC, we were on fire. Okay. And as a 27-year-old, people started knowing about me and, my high school friends, my family and friends, they supported me. So I did 17 transactions my second full year. Well, my first full year, my second year into real estate. And I thought I had made it. I was working 2-3 hours a day and I made 17 deals in my first full year. I said, okay, well, let's go out and buy a car. I bought an X5 for $89,000. That year, I earned $104,000. And then with the rest of the money that I didn't have, I bought my
Yeah,
girlfriend, thankfully now still my wife, purses and necklaces, jewelry. I'm like, yeah, man, this
pretty good.
is the gravy train. So, and it that carried on until about mid 2008, and overnight the tap was shut off, right? And I found myself, I was already about $15,000 in debt. All of a sudden, I found myself $80,000 in debt. Oh, sorry, $60,000 in debt. And then I, I I wanted to get engaged. I knew she was the one for me. Okay. So then I went out and got another loan for $20,000 to buy a ring so I could propose to her. Okay. And so now I'm $80,000 in debt, right? And I'm like,
That's
okay,
quite the
well,
ring too. That's a nice starter there.
hefty ring for a 28-year-old back in 2008. So, 20
Hey,
grand was a lot of money.
you were making huge money at the time though in your mind, right? It was like, hey, I'm doing fine. Hey, you just
I'm doing,
put it on the
and I
card.
thought it was just going to keep going. But,
Yeah.
I bought the ring and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. I haven't made a sale in months. And I got this email from Mike Ferry. Mike told me that there's a sales talk workshop going on in Newport Beach, California. So I flew out there and I was like, I'm desperate, right? Because I don't know what to do in real estate. I thought people would just call me, and people did. I was waiting for business, and they came to me. But that shut off. So then once I went to the seminar, on the fourth day, I was like, I got to sign up. I'm $80,000 in debt. I had nowhere else to go. I can't afford not to get involved in coaching, because he was telling me the truth. He was telling me, you got to go out there, prospect, lead, follow up, negotiate contracts, taking listings, making sales, which what you're doing right now is just waiting. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. So I signed up, and I had no money in the bank, maxed out on my credit cards, and it was $1,500 a month. I said, you know what, let's go for it, right? And I ended up not making a sale even after being in coaching for 6 months. So here's where the no quit bone, the persistence came in. I just said, you know what? I'm just going to follow the process, have blind faith, because I can't go back to selling jeans and pay off my $80,000 debt anyway. So I kept going. And 2009 in March, did my first sale, and my skills were kind of catching up. My mindset was getting better. And so that first sale, it felt so magical, because after that, I went on a run. 33 deals after, right, in 2009. I just never looked back. But I realized one thing that year was that no matter how good things got, no matter how bad things got, you got to keep going. You got to keep prospecting. You got to keep reaching out to people. Your phase one activities can never change. Your phase one is lead generation. It doesn't change. Right now, 20 years in, I'm still doing lead generation. I don't care, like, yeah, unless you are completely retired, right? So that right there and then taught me something that I'll never forget, is like, I never want to feel broke again.
Hmm.
And that thought carried on with me for years, even until now. And we've been through so many cycles here, Mark, that I keep learning new lessons each and every time. Painful lessons along the way.
Yeah, John, that's thanks for sharing that. And I resonate in so many different areas. You said something that was like could go on a bumper sticker in the industry. You said you're just waiting. And that's something that Mike Ferry, when he went to, he told you, he's like, you're just waiting right now. And you're like, yeah, you're right. And this is something that's so interesting for real estate agents overall. And I know there's a lot in your organization that you oversee. What do you think the agents that really catch on this idea that, yeah, you know what, I am waiting to actually turn on a switch and then they start moving towards taking action and making things happen versus the ones that just remain waiting and they don't change? What has there been some like a, we'll say a one, two, or three things that something switches in them? What do you think it is that can help agents turn it on to stop waiting?
I think it's either massive inspiration or it's going to be painful desperation. And I
Mm,
had both.
yeah.
Okay. So I think people you either go towards a lot of pleasure or you move away from pain. I'm a big away from pain person, and I had a lot of pain. I had $80,000. There was a lot of fear, but luckily I turned that fear into energy to go and look for business. So I believe you need to have something at stake. So it's either accountability internally or accountability externally. So accountability externally was my $80,000 debt. My accountability internally was that I want to become a successful person. So how are you going to hold yourself accountable? Who are you looking to be? But when I see it, when I look at people, and now it's more Zoom interviews, I'm like, I look at someone in the eyes. Like, do you have that fire inside of you? And a lot of times you could tell right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But unfortunately, as leaders of our organization, I have to identify who is going to crush it and who's not. And I cannot be more motivated than the agent about their own goals. So I would just say that I'm going to support you however you want me to support you. I'm going to give you all the tools, the know-hows to get to $1 million commission if you want to. I can teach you how to make $1 million, but I cannot teach you how to want to make $1 million. That is upon you to really discover for yourself. But I will ask you questions to obviously discover for me, like if you are one of the guys that are going to be top 1%, or you're going to be the rest, which I'm okay too. If you're okay, I'm okay. I'm going to give you all the tools to make a good living in real estate, wherever you want to go. So that's how I look at it. I used to want to have everyone become top 1%. It's just not realistic, Mark. And that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is such a good initial conversation when agents are listening. They're like, oh, how do I get more leads? How do I, what's the magic bullet? It's like, what'd you do? I want to know what you did. And it always goes back to this idea of needing some stimulus to just get up and do the work, right? This motivator. And what's interesting, I found, John, is that a lot of the top producers that I've spoken with, it's more of a negative driver, as in like a fear of failure driver, than and it's interesting that the vitamin business and the pain business is twice as profitable as the vitamin business because people are twice as motivated to take action to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. Right. And so what's interesting, I found it doesn't even really matter what the stimulus is that you have. It could be to prove somebody wrong. It can be, a status, an award. It can be getting out of debt. Could be whatever that is for you. Like get clear what that is, grab onto it. And what's interesting is I found through the years for me, John, is that my motivator, my stimulus has changed through the years.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you put like enough food on the table, everybody's fed, it's very easy to get complacent.
That's right.
But this idea, you got to keep, if you want to keep driving and improving and getting better, you need other stimulators to keep you going, keep the game interesting
Yeah.
on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So not getting so caught up on what's the right motivator. It doesn't even really matter. It's like what gets you out of bed in the morning and makes you stay a little later, make the extra calls.
Exactly. Totally agreed.
Yeah. All right. So we could go a number of different ways in this, but let's keep going down this idea of so you started to get sales. So two sales, 1733. You started to take some action from this Mike Ferry course. So you signed up, which is another really good insight for agents listening. It's like paying for coaching is it I think is a really smart thing. That was one of the things that I did when I started as well, because I was like really motivated. I was taking a lot of action, but I was going in circles and I wasn't going toward something and following a proven process. So signing up and take some courses and then having some accountability is something that you started to do. You started to get some results. What happened after that in regards to continuing to grow? Were there any other action steps that you implemented that further gave you, we'll just say, momentum?
Yeah, I think, throughout those years, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, it was a couple of years of 150,000, and it was a couple of years of 250,000, and my goal was 400,000. Then, you know, Mike gave us the know-how, like prospect, lead follow-up, go on appointments, make sales. But then you get to a point where, like you said, you get complacent when the bills are paid. You're just like, why am I stuck at 150,000? Because, well, the bills are paid. So, okay, well, how do we manufacture that artificially? Let's go out and buy some new shit, right? Or my language, can I swear?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Okay.
good.
So,
Manufacture. Okay, that's good. Keep going.
yeah, so 150,000. I we bought our first condo. I had a mortgage, so we went from wherever we were, $50,000 all the way to 150, and then it was that for 3 years, and then all of a sudden, we go buy a new car, which was very uncomfortable for me. Then I went to 250,000. Now I started to figure out, okay, I see the pattern now. If there's no pain for John, he's not going to go out and even if because I'm super consistent with my actions. My other superpower is I will always talk to people every single day. I will never give up on that. But the intentionality is different. So when there was more at stake, when I bought a new car, I was like, okay, well, I got a bigger payment now. So it was going towards something. So I went and made 250,000. And then when I bought a Range Rover, which was my dream car back then, Range Rover Sport, went from 375,000 all the way to 500,000. Okay, and I bought a condo. So I had no money in the bank, so I had to go out and get some more. In 2016, it was a pinnacle of my solo career. I sold 149 homes as a solo agent. I bought 3 homes that year because I knew that was the only way to keep me in that grind mode because I get comfortable real fast. So I did that, completely burnt out, 149 homes. And that year I was like, okay, there's no way I'm handling this much business by myself. So I started building a team, a pseudo team from the start, right? It was 2 showing agents and then I had 1 admin to start. By the end of 2016, I had like 6 agents and 2 admin. And everything crumbled down to nothing in 2017. I was back to 3 agents, 1 admin, and did 137 deals. And I was completely burning out. And through those years of grinding, Mark, and buying stuff, chasing that ego, 100 deals, 100 deals, 100 deals, I left my wife behind.
Yeah.
We were like roommates because I would leave. The Mike Ferry system is you get to the office by 7, or else you're going to pay $500 to your accountability partner, right? I would leave the house. She'd be sleeping. I would come back home at 11 o'clock. She'd be sleeping. And I would eat 3 meals out of the house. And then on the weekend, I was so tired that I just had nothing left. It was very painful for us during that time. And then I found this seminar called Landmark Worldwide, where I went in there trying to get more sales skills, Mark, and I wanted to double my income that year, which I did. But I also found that I was I was having a loss of power and self-expression with the people who I loved in my life because I couldn't face the fact that I had nothing for them. My parents, my siblings, my wife. I had nothing left. It was all about getting more money. And then we had to, so I opened it up. I said, I came home after the seminar. I said, we got to work on this, right? So I had to open a can of worms, and we had a lot of problems. And we went to therapy for 2 years, 2.5 years. It got so bad that we were in separation therapy.
Hmm.
I don't know if you want to go down this rabbit hole of this
Keep going,
relationship.
John. Keep going,
Yeah.
because there's
Okay.
some really good insight, I think, for
Yeah.
agents listening. That keep
Okay.
going.
Okay. So I decided there and then, I do still want this marriage to work. Okay, well then, how can I work less and more efficient and make the same amount of money, or a little bit less, but have some freedom and presence for the people that I love, which was the reason why I did this whole thing in the first place. I mean, I got a $20,000 loan to get engaged to the love of my life. Why am I? And 10 years later, I had nothing to show for. We had no kids. We have, you know, uh, a few condos. I had like 10 properties, 3 cars. Like, what the hell for? And it was very painful. So I said, I need to start building a team where it could allow me to step away from full time production. So then I really started to think about, okay, well, should I build a brokerage then? Right? And, at first it was building a team, then it was building a brokerage so I can have some leverage, so I can have some equity if I were to sell my brokerage, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road. So I decided to look at Remax. Remax was going to give us equity, revenue share, and KV Core at that time for $1,200. And, I thought, okay, this is great. And I can own a business now and step out of production. And that was going to cost me $500,000 with Remax, and I didn't have the money, but I was willing to get another loan for 125,000 with 3 partners um, to get started. And that's when the EXP conversation came in, and they were going to offer us the same things: equity, revenue share, and KV Core for $199 to start up. So long story short, I jumped to that and started building this whole thing, which worked out very well. But to just get back to like going away from pain was the biggest thing that drove me every single year. And then I started to realize and start to mature that I was doing this for my wife. And then we have 2 kids, which is awesome. Right. So that was it. I mean, the whole thing was to have a life again and have a business. And that's hard.
Mm. John, thank you for sharing that. I think that speaks to a lot of real estate agents out there that have this idea that in order to be successful, I can only focus on that and not focus on the family. Do you think you can do both well?
I think you can do both very, very well, but it takes a lot of intention and attention and presence. And especially when you're brand new, you already don't know what to do with your business. So never mind trying to be fully present with your family. It's hard, right? But I always tell agents that are coming in right now, hey, just listen to me. Listen to me. You're never going to have balance. Let's just be clear with that. Balance is a myth. I want you to go home 100% family. 100% family. Put away your phone. And when you're done, okay, like spend time with family. When you're out there hustling, I want you to be 100% work. And when you're at the gym, working on your mindset, working on your body to become stronger for yourself and your family, you're 100% gym. And when you're eating healthy food, go 100%. Don't tiptoe in anything. Not many people can keep up with that, Mark.
Yeah. It's this is so powerful, this conversation, because a lot of agents, they'll get to the end and then they realize, like, I've got success, but I've lost things along the way. Like, I've had that conversation with a lot of people. It was interesting. I found for me when I started in the business, like I had to go, like I was working a lot during that time frame, and it was like 100% focus along the way. I found Sundays for me, the first half of the day was really good. I found that in general, appointments you can divert around that day fairly well. At least if there needs to be something, you can be on the back half of Sunday, especially with offers and whatnot. Eventually, I was able to nail that down as we started getting more sales. But at the beginning, it's like you just got to put food on the table, and the goal and the hope is supposed to like go attack. But the key is, I like what you said about being 100% when you're with your spouse. It's like be 100% with there. And I wouldn't even say it's about like so much time. It's about the quality of time that you're with them and that you
That's
actually
right.
be in direct and connect with them. It's interesting. I had a conversation with the top producer. Her name was Paula Mitchell. I shared this before, but I was at a conference, and she said, "You know what, Mark? I found for me between 4 and 6, I didn't book appointments during that time. I'd go home, eat dinner, and then I'd go back out after." And she found that she was doing just as much business, but she was able to go home and connect. I thought, huh, it's like I'm going to try that, and I did, and it was. I mean, it's of course there's exceptions to the rule with that. There were times that I didn't get it, but in general, I went home and I put my phone away. I got connected. I connected with the family when I was there, and what was interesting is that I actually got more done because during the day I'm like, oh crap, I got to get this done by that, like 4:30, or else I'm not going to be able to do it because I'm leaving, and there's a deadline there. Which this whole idea of Parkinson's law is that you whatever the time is that you allocate to a certain activity, you'll get it done in the time that you allocate. Like you give yourself five
Mm.
hours to do something, it'll take 5 hours. If you just give yourself 1 hour, it's like going on vacation, right? It's like you become world class at getting things done
Yeah,
because you know you got a deadline, right? So
exactly.
yeah, this is so I do think that along the way it's about like connection. There will be more of a commitment up front, and so a little more grace, but making sure you're connecting. One of the things I found for me is just telling my family, it's like every day when I wake up, it's like I tell them I love them. And if I see them during the day, if I didn't meet them in the morning or whatever, it's like tell them you love them. I think those little things along the way make a big difference. Were there any other things that you implemented through that whole thing that the agents listening that you could share with them that help with building a relationship as they're scaling their business?
Building relationship with family or
Yeah, that's
yeah.
yeah, that's right. So with your spouse or with your kids growing up, is there
Oh
any
boy.
other things that you implemented along the way or were able to introduce into your schedule that really helped build connection and deeper relationships with family members?
Yeah, it's definitely presence, but it didn't it's not always it hasn't always been this good. I had no relationship with my older daughter. I mean, I came home one day and she came home and showed me her family portrait that she drew for her school, and it was mom, her baby sister, and her our family dog, and herself. And I'm like, Where's daddy?"
Oh man.
Right? And then, and then you're like, okay, that's a wake up call.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm not gonna say I'm perfect, but I'll tell you this, like, you gotta make adjustments when you have wake up calls like that. So if I can teach the agents out there is, like, listen to some of the signs and listen in between the lines what your family is trying to tell you to be there when you're there,
That's
right?
wise counsel, John. Thanks for sharing that. And I think the key there is once you do, you take action on it. And it doesn't need to be like this complete overhaul, just
No.
moving in the right direction day after day. You're right. Like nobody's perfect on this. You see on social media, it's like, oh, it's such it's like they're working on things too, right? Everybody goes through challenges. It's just how you're doing. I'll share a quick one for me that's been really powerful. And this was something that I learned through when I first was married. It would take me like a week to sometimes like a month to apologize if I was offside on something. And then I realized is like that gap, there was friction there. Is like, so I started realizing, okay, I got to apologize sooner and take ownership sooner. And then it was like a week, and then a day, and then a few hours. And then now it's like, as soon as I'm off, I just realized, just own it, take ownership. Just, you don't need to be right. Just own it. And so that's actually been huge for us, is just taking ownership of your crap right away. And it sucks, right? Because we got ego, we got pride, right? We don't want to be wrong in an argument, but it's like, I own my part. I own this, what I did here. I own it full and complete. And what was interesting, I heard somebody else say this, is that it's not about 50-50. It's like 100-100. It's like, I'm going to give you 100% of everything I got. I'm not measuring when it comes down to your spouse. And if I'm giving you 100 and I don't expect anything, the other person is likely going to give 100 for them. And that's been a game changer as well for us.
Big time, man. Smart man, by the way. And you were brave in the beginning, where you go in a month without apologizing. But a smart man leads to a happy wife, and a happy wife leads to a happy life.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody else says.
Yeah. No, it's sometimes I gotta learn the lesson. It takes me a little longer to learn the lesson there, John, but eventually I'll get it.
Yes, sir.
Persistence is one of the things with me too. I was like, I'll get
Yes,
it
sir.
eventually. All right. So one of the big questions that agents get, and I know there's a lot of agents in the organization that would come and ask you the question, is like, how do I get more business? What piece of advice would you give real estate agents when they ask the question, how do I get more business?
How do I get more business? I think it's gonna sound really simple, that it's stupid. Okay. Because most of the agents come to me and they say they want to make more money and they want to make more sales. How do I get more business? And I said, okay, tell me, how much business? So I don't know. I want a lot of money. I'm like, well, that's your first problem, because most people know exactly what to do to get more business. But the problem is they don't know what they want. So I teach a lot of goal setting, and goal setting is probably one of the most important things. Like, how are you supposed to have your brain go somewhere if you don't even know where you want to go? I want more. It's like going to McDonald's and trying to order, hey, I want more food. Well, sir, would you like more fries, or would you like more hamburgers? Would you like Coke? Or what would you like? Well, I just want more food. That's exactly how agents are when they come to me and they say, I want more business. So we teach them exactly how to set the goals, and GCI, how many transactions would that take? And then crunching it down to a daily action, how many people you need to talk to on a daily basis in order to achieve the goals that you set for yourself. Now, once you do that, then obviously there's so many things in between. Well, you got to work on your skills, your mindset, your activities, your lead sources, all that. But it starts with a goal setting. So I would ask that agent that asked me that, okay, well, tell me about your goals. Start there.
That's it's simple yet extremely effective. And John, what you just said there, all top agents do it. It's very clear that you got to get clear where the destination is. And that's why I love the income goal that you had said. People ask like, oh, I'm not motivated by money. It's like, it doesn't even matter if you're motivated by money or not. It's that it's clearly measurable. You can break it down, you can measure it, and it's just use it as like a yardstick on if you're on the right path or not. So,
Yes, sir.
so the next question then is, okay, it's like we've knocked down the income goal. We broke that down to number of sales, agreements, appointments. Okay, now conversations. Like, how do I have more conversations? Like, I'm new to the city. It's
Yep.
like, I don't know anyone. It's like I don't even have a database here. How am I
Yeah.
going to have more conversations? Like, John, I don't know anyone. What do I do? Right. So you have an agent. That's the next question. And I know you've had
I
that,
love it.
right?
I
You've
love
had
it.
that many times. Well, how would you respond to them?
Well, I would just say, if you're here in Greater Vancouver, there's 3 million people here. And I used to do 50 contacts a day, and that's $400 per day, 50 conversations per day. I say to the agents, I say, you know what? There's 3 million people here in Greater Vancouver. And if you talk to 50 people per day without repeating, it's going to take you 158 years to talk to all 3 million people. Go. right? So then they're like, ha ha ha. Okay, yeah, that means that you have people to talk to. So I would start here. Go out there and do as many networking events as you can as a new person here in town. Go out there and meet as many people as possible. And after that, I would have you do all the open houses for the agents that are in your brokerage that don't want to do open houses. Let me go and do open houses because you're going to get in front of buyers and sellers that are going to be walking in there and you don't have to go out and prospect. Now, before that open house, I'm going to go around for a couple of hours and knock on all the doors around the area, introducing myself. I'm the neighborhood realtor. My name is John Sai. If you know anybody who's looking to buy or sell, let me know. And by the way, we're having an open house here 2 to 4. That 123 Primrose Lane is listed for $1.7 million. Who do you know that's looking to move into our area that I can help? And then that's Saturday and Sunday. Monday to Friday, I'm calling all the people that are from the open house, following up with them. And then I'm calling expired listings. You can't do that in Ontario, so I'm not going to recommend that for Ontario agents. For sale by owners, you can call, and then you got to call again, just listed, just sold, and then you're following up on those open house leads. And if you start to, from the networking, you start to build some friends, you're going to call your COI. Right. And then throughout all this, because we now have social media, you're documenting your whole journey, putting them in your stories, putting listings on your feed, letting people know that you are in business. I promise you, you do that. You just do that, what I said, for the first 90 days of 2026, even if you're brand new, you're going to get business. I promise you.
Yeah. So simple. Right. So here's the next one that you probably.
And that is, so Mark, that was all free, by the way. You didn't even pay a dime to generate any online leads. That's all free.
Yeah, which then removes we'll say the story, the victim story of, oh, I don't have any money. It's like, I don't have any money to pay for leads. It's like, you don't need to. You just need to be able to put gas in your tank and, make sure that you feed yourself. That's, of course you got to pay for that, but it doesn't cost anything to go walk up to a door. Very good. Very good. So I know you get this as the next. I'm going down the path here because I know you've had this conversation many, many times. Okay. I know now that there's 3 million people. Okay. There's a lot of people out there. You've given me ways to do it. It's like, okay, I get that. But what do I say to people? I don't know what to say. It's like, what do I say to people? I'm brand new. It's like, what do I say? What do I do? And I'm scared to go talk to people. So how would you respond to that question?
Well, first, we actually have training calls 5 times a week where we're teaching them scripts and dialogue. So before we do that, before we had that conversation, I just said, well, what do you do to introduce yourself? Well, my name is John. Okay. Can you say my name is John? I'm a real estate agent. Well, yeah, I can do that. Okay, great. Can you say my name is John? I'm a real estate agent. If you know anyone who's looking to buy or sell, let me know. Here's my card. Well, I can certainly do that. That's your script. That's your script. It's as simple as that, right? And it leads to something else. Well, since you're a real estate agent, I actually have a friend or a family that's looking to buy. Maybe you can give them a call. It just, once you say that you're a real estate agent, what's the first thing that people say? How's the market? Then it becomes a real estate conversation. As long as you can have real estate conversations like that every single day with strangers or people that you know, you're going to win in real estate. And yesterday, this is funny. I posted something on social media. I posted something on IG, and I said, prospecting is the lifeblood of every real estate salesperson's pipe. It's our food. Okay, it's how you get food on the table. They're like, oh, my business model is referrals. I position myself so I get referrals. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. When you get a referral, what do you have to do? You have to call them. That's called prospecting. I don't care. You're still talking to people. So talk to people, go on appointments, take listings, and make sales. It's so simple. A plus B equals C. And if you can just do that and track your numbers, and my numbers were 100 contacts to 1 listing taken. 1 listing taken equals 1 paycheck. Every single day I just said 1 listing taken, 1 listing taken. Well, I got to talk to 100 people, 100 people, 100 people. That's all I did throughout the year. And Mark, there was no emotion and drama in my business. when I can just focus on that. You and I know there's a ton of emotion and drama in real estate.
That's right. It's I love how you said that and broke that down, John. There's a lot of wisdom in what you're saying there. One thing I'll add to is the more conversations you have, people are inherently lazy. They want an easy button for a problem that they're facing. And if you have enough conversations, what I've realized is that you will be the convenient option and the easy button the for whoever it is that's looking to buy or sell. And no matter what you say, just that you're at the door, they'll say, "Hey, listen, okay, I'll have a conversation because I don't want to have to go research a bunch of agents. You're here." This was like after a lot of thought. I was like, "Why? How on earth is that agent doing so many sales?" I was thinking about it. I'm like, they just show up and they're the convenient option. And it was like, it's like there's a portion out there of people just say, like, whoever's in front of them, they're going to take it. And so the key is to get in front of as many people as possible. And over time, that was like, I'm more of an inward. It took me thousands of conversations to be able to get better at speaking and then being able to interact and skill set. That's why I like what you said earlier of like, you need to keep working on your dialogue, your skill sets, and connecting with people at a deeper level, building relatability, authority, value, like having these. And the more you have is just getting out there. The more you have, you're going to get better at these conversations. And what I found was really interesting over time. I started liking it. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to go out and have these conversations. I can't wait to go on an appointment and convert it, and became like this art or expression. And then when you have that, you go into
Beautiful.
the zone where it's like you have a confidence that is highly influential when you're speaking with people, and that there's enthusiasm that comes in, but then there's a humble confidence that comes with it, which means your conversion rates go through the roof at that point.
I love that. I love that. And you're enjoying the process was what I'm hearing. And, people just want to eat, but you don't want to hunt. You got to love the hunt. Then that meal is going to taste so much better. If you just keep eating, you're going to get fat as hell and you're not going to know how to hunt anymore. Right? The whole journey of becoming a better salesperson, a better business person is about the hunt. It's about the journey of becoming a higher level of yourself. And that's what this is all about. And the money will just come anyways. Obviously, you and I at this stage, we focus on becoming a better us, but the agents who are just starting out, you got to focus on the actions. You got to focus on the actions. Just take the action. And I'll say this again as well. You can't say the wrong things to the right people. You can't say the right things to the wrong people. And a lot of times, if you talk to enough people, you're going to do business by default. You're there. You're the convenient option, like you said.
Yeah, that's a really good conversation. And I think it boils down to, it's like, keep it simple. And it comes down to conversations. It's like, that's it. You can dress it up any which way. But at the end of the day, even for yourself, you have a huge following and you're, influential online. But those followers need to turn into conversations. Eventually you got to have conversations to be able to convert them at the end of the day. Is that what you found?
Absolutely. It's either outbound or inbound, but you're still having conversations. They're not, if you have someone DM you, they want to sell their house, you're still going to have to go and see them to get the house listed. You don't think they're just going to DM you and put money into your bank account. Is that what people think? No, you're still going to have conversations.
So one of the strengths that you have is your online presence as well. I mean, many strengths, but we'll say that above and beyond what the average agent is. So a question that they might have is for you is like, okay, what advice would you have for them when it comes to their online media presence when, they're having these conversations, they're out there. It's like, what are the most important things when it comes down to, online presence? And should they be spending, a lot of time on it? Should they not be spending any time? Should it be minimal? What advice would you have for the average agent out there?
This is great. And it's been about, since 2013, I've been creating content online. And now I've realized that, you know what? Numbers don't mean shit. Those followers don't mean shit if you're not converting. So just forget about the numbers. In fact, don't even look at your follower count. Forget about it. Go out there and make as much valuable content that answers your prospects' questions, you are going to get inbound DMs and calls. So tweak that. Yes, sometimes if you're not getting views, not getting engagement, then you should tweak something. But the followers don't, I mean, yes, to an extent, it does help me because I look big, and you got to look big before you actually big sometimes. But don't focus on that. Focus on creating good content with great call to action and valuable content. So people are like, hey, you know what? This guy knows what he's talking about. This gal knows what he's talking about. I'm going to follow him. And if I ever think about buying and selling, that's my guy. That's my gal. So Instagram, TikTok, very effective. Facebook is making a comeback. Well, it never went away. And then you got to create long form YouTube content, right? So then people can take a deep dive with you. 7-11-4 method.
Can you elaborate on that?
So 7 touches. Sorry, 7 platforms, 11 touches, and 4 exposures.
Okay.
Then people start to trust you. I'll give you an example before, we're just about out of time here. I want to say, because why I got so into creating good content on YouTube is because I tore my tendon, my tricep tendon, and I was looking for a stem cell clinic doctor. I opened up YouTube. I'm like, I'm searching for a great doctor. So I found this doctor online, Dr. Joy Kong, and she had explained stem cells down to like the nitty gritty, like everything about it. And then I was like, okay, I trust her now because I've consumed hours of your content. And then I went on IG and I DM'd her, and guess what? She replied. She goes, thank you for watching my content. Here's the number to call my team to book an appointment. I went out to California. I spent $19,000 on stem cells with her. So can we do that in real estate? I think we can.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so last question before we get into the rapid fire here. So when it comes to real estate investing, I'm a huge fan. Of course, I know you are as well. Rich Dad Poor Dad was your inspiration at the beginning. What investing advice would you have for the real estate agents out there listening today?
You know what? I purchased a lot of real estate. I made a lot of mistakes. So now if I purchase real estate, it's got to have to be cash flowing, no matter how you look at it. And if it's not cash flowing, it's not a great investment because it's taking money out of your bank account. Okay. And if you can carry it, either so go to the markets like Calgary, Edmonton for cash flow if you want cash flow. Stay here in the bigger markets like, Toronto, GTA, or Greater Vancouver if you want appreciation. Obviously, there's not a lot of that recently, but it will come back. It will come back. So I would say that for me, cash flow is going to be the safest bet, right? And then we're in it for the long haul. So keep it for a long period of time, right? Then you're going to start to build the net worth that you want, right?
That's such wise counsel, and it goes back to Robert Kiyosaki's teachings, right? Is cash flow, cash flow, cash flow, that idea of it. And it's interesting in Ontario, you're right. I mean, it's been very difficult. And so that's where for us, we were actually forced to start looking down south, in places like, Tampa and Charleston and Atlanta. So we actually built a second pillar, Faris Capital, now to go buy these multifamily and help Canadians invest down there. But I'll tell you, it's tough when you see appreciating assets, and it's like they've always made money, but then when they don't make money or they start to come down, and when you had all these clients coming to you in the past, like, I love real estate, and it's like now it's like cash flow in real estate is you can't buy it in Ontario. It's very hard, difficult to find. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
that was a really good piece of advice you gave there. Really smart. All right. So 3 quick questions here, John. I could keep talking to you all day. This flew by. Lots of wisdom that you bring to the table. So first question I have for you is, I'm a huge reader. I love reading books. Other than Rich Dad Poor Dad, what other book has made the biggest impact in your career?
At this juncture in my career, it was 3 books by Ben Hardy. And Those are Gap in the Gain, Who Not How, and 10x is easier than 2x. So those books are game changers for me right now. And obviously, at every juncture of your career, you want to be reading something different. So if you're just starting out, I would read the basics, right? I got this one actually. Real Estate According to Mike Ferry, and I have a book called How to Be a Beast. Is my journey to go from 2 sales to 149 sales. You can buy that online, Amazon. And The Greatest Salesperson in the World, Og Mandino, right? All those classics. And then, of course, Think and Grow Rich. Yeah. If you do nothing else, I think that's the next one for you if you're just beginning and starting out.
Yeah, that was a huge book for me as well, John. We're getting a gold card, right? Writing it down and then going over it daily. Huge. So interesting. It's like there's counsel and then wisdom in listening to others that have done it, and they say read the book. If you just read the book, and actually if you tie in Audible and reading it and with a pen, and you do the three of them together, you'll absorb way fast. You can actually speed it up as well, so you can get through the book faster. But great advice. And I love as well what you said. That's not a normal piece of advice. Is it depends on where you're at in your career. Like if you're just starting, read the fundamentals. Get really good at the fundamentals rather than going to how to hire people. With who not how. It's like the reality. Go to the fundamentals. Start there. And I think that was really good piece of advice. Really good. All right. Second question. 3 words that best describe you.
Consistent, persistent, relentless.
That's good. And what final advice would you have for the real estate agents out there listening to be able to take their business to the next level?
If you're still in business here in 2026, as we are making this recording right now, pat yourself on the back first and foremost. You're still in business. You didn't quit. Now, the fact that you didn't quit makes me think that you can persist through to the good days again. But if the good days never come, you just get stronger. Here's your opportunity to take a lot of market share. Go out there, hustle harder than anybody else in the marketplace, and you are going to make the money and have the success that you want ultimately. And 2026 is your year. Go out there, dominate.
Great piece of advice. John Sai, it was a real pleasure speaking with you. You're a phenomenal leader, speaker, and you have the ability to break things down to the simple. And I think that's what resonates because you do come from a very humble place there as well. So thank you for coming on the show and spending time here.
Thank you, Mark.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for coming and listening to the show. If you liked it, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel or share it with another real estate agent. There's so many nuggets in this interview, so make sure you share it with other real estate agents. I love you guys and keep on going full out.